Zuma and Ramaphosa's decision to expel you from the ANC pretty hard because you lost your political home. I see you having taken Floyd Shivambu's departure from the EFF as hard because he was a colleague and a brother and a friend to you for a long time. How do you trust again? How do you invest as much as you've invested in politics as you have done previously after going through such heartbreak?
You must invest, but never invest emotions.
Okay.
So you must develop people, you must encourage people to do the right thing, work on them, give them the necessary support where it is needed. But it must not go too hard.
Yeah.
To a point where when they disappoint you, you feel like you are disappointed by your blood brother. We make a mistake because we seem to think our colleagues are our friends. And we become so comfortable with each other. And when things happen, we now want to cry foul as if we didn't know some of these things. I see a lot of successful people like Ivan Khosa. He's not the kind of a guy who likes being around people a lot and having many friends. He had a friend called Screamer who passed away. May he so rest in peace. But other than that, he's not a craftsman. He goes to work, do his work, and does it diligently because they've never said a game of Kaizer Chiefs and Pirates starts at 3 and it started 3:30. So he has professionalized football. And he did so not because he befriended those people, but he worked with them and he knew their colleagues.
I mean, speaking on Floyd, with his Maibuya consultative process, did you expect that coming out of him, number one? And then publicly, he's made so many public pronouncements, negative public pronouncement about your relationship with him, about operations going on here at EFF. Did you expect that? And just what do you make of it?
I don't know how Floyd could have gone to Zuma and MK. I don't know how he could not have known Zuma would do that to him in a few months because Zuma does that to everyone.
Well, we take our own decision. We write our own history as individuals, and when that history is written, it will tell the true story. We're sitting here, we still don't know what was the revolutionary about taking that decision of going to MK. But people take individual decisions, and we ought to respect those decisions as the people. And we wish them well. If they are genuinely going to help our people, we can do with so many hands in helping our people, and we shouldn't be hard on them and say all manner of things. Yes, we get disappointed as people because we are people, but you must let go.
Have you changed? Wait, have you changed in any way you do things in the EFF just based on what happened last year and all the departures?
Just before you answered that, I was quite surprised in the last election that Floyd led so much of the campaign, was in charge of governance, was in charge of GNU. You seemed to give him the responsibility that he wanted, and either he didn't do well and couldn't account, or it wasn't enough. He wanted to be the CIC.
Well, the question is, did I change? When you build an organization, it's based on your face, your speech, and all of that. So you need to gradually, unannounced, start giving other people responsibilities and take a back seat to observe what will happen. And we did exactly that because we had developed an amount of confidence in some of these comrades. But when that happened, it suggested that I now have to be hands-on and make sure that we take care of the organization. It's interesting that is calling us all manner of names, cult and all of that. But most decisions here were taken by him, were influenced by him. He says I'm a cult. In the same sentence, he says, yeah, he wanted to make someone else Secretary General when he came from a caucus. And I suggested Marshal Dlamini, and Marshal Dlamini became Secretary General. If I was a cult, why would I agree to something like that? I was not from a caucus. I was sitting with him, we were talking. I said, Shadrach Tlaule can be the Secretary General. And he said, no, Marshal Dlamini. And I said, I don't know why I didn't think about that name. And I immediately agreed. There was no quarrel about it. But he is a man who was doing everything because I'm a cult. But whatever suggestions that came forward, we are individuals. We make individual proposals. And most of the ideas he expressed in the EFF were accepted, were never met with resistance. So I don't know what got into their head. Maybe it's again, fostering that idea of fragmenting a black vote, make sure EFF gets as little votes as possible and so many political parties, then the DA grows with the Freedom Front Plus and the IFP, and then they take over South Africa. But it is our duty as leaders to accept that from time to time people are going to insult you, especially the people you worked with, the people you are close with. People are destroyed by people who are close to them, not people from far. So you ought to accept that, but do not degenerate to their level. Just leave them to say whatever they say. People will see them for who they are.
Post 2026, do you see the GNU surviving? And what do you see the ANC's role in the future of South Africa now?
Well, the ANC is going to become very insignificant when we go forward with the political landscape of South Africa. Because if you observe what's happening now, these people are going to kill each other. The state of, when you are faced with danger, you close ranks and say, comrades, whatever differences we have, we need to close rank and focus on what is destroying the organization. No, they are pulling each other in different directions in the name of renewal. And there's nothing renewal about what they are doing. So, but they will have themselves to blame. And maybe it's good for all of us. Maybe the smaller they become, the better.
But will the MK not benefit?
It will benefit.
Will you benefit? Will the
We will
EFF benefit?
we will benefit.
Okay.
We will benefit. I mean, in my ward where there was by-elections, we hit the ANC by 900 votes, showing very clear that people are no longer interested. If MK benefit, well and good. And there are other parties that might be an irritation there and there, but when brought together, we constitute a proper government and we build South Africa with those who are willing to build South Africa. The DA's problem is that it does it for white people. I mean, I was listening to Helen when she was speaking in one radio interview saying there are actually two parties here in South Africa. It's the ANC and the DA. And that's how our people must vote. Meaning, there are two parties, and those parties, one is for blacks, one is for whites. That's what she is saying.
I mean, she's also said that the EFF is the DA's strongest or biggest threat.
Yeah, in terms of policy position, we are completely different. So we must be careful of our country being taken by neoliberals and turning it into a privately owned state. Because if you privatize almost everything, you're making the state irrelevant. And therefore, what is the purpose of having a president or anything of that sort if he's got no power? I mean, they are gradually taking this government without saying. They privatized education, privatized healthcare, privatized transport. Because if you look at the trains that were there are no longer there. The taxis, taxi industry is collapsing on its own. That's why it's fighting. And then they bring Uber, which is going to be privately owned by individuals. And without a proper bus system and train system, then transport is privatized. So my worry is they're privatizing everything that matters to us. And we should be worried about that. I mean, to say, give private companies to produce electricity. They produce electricity and they produce enough electricity. What do? They're going to make sure that ESCOM is dysfunctional, doesn't work. They make sure that doesn't work. Then we have no option. We have to buy electricity from an individual. Such responsibility are security risky because individuals are emotional. They're human beings. Rupert can wake up in the morning and switch off electricity. What will you do about it? He's selling it. What do you do with the owners of water? One day they get irritated with the government and they close water. It can be. There are certain things you have to be very jealous about, especially the things that constitute the core of what the state is. Look at security companies now. They are more armed than the law personnel of South Africa. So that is danger on its own. And we must strengthen the police, strengthen the army, strengthen Metro Police, as it were, so that it becomes more powerful than any individual or any company in South Africa. But to erode the state will be led by mafias for real.
I mean, the point of bringing in private players in those network industries, the ports, electricity, and water, I mean, it's gaining momentum right now. And there's nothing, I think, in my opinion, I think there's nothing you can do to stop it. You can either support it or you just let it play back.
And is it all bad? Exaro investing in Transnet, would that be a bad thing?
Yeah, it is a bad thing. We need to build Transnet. And then Exaro will utilize our facilities.
But we don't have money.
I can hear Mr. Malema with the privatization. And to be honest with you, I agree with him 100%, you know. And you know, what people don't understand sometimes is the fact that because if you're moving things from the public or from government or anything like that, and you bring it or you take it to the private sector, what you are telling us or you are saying to us, you are telling us that in the public sector there is no one. In other words, you are saying altogether, totally, in the public sector, there is no one who can handle these things. There is no one who can run these things. You are telling us that our only option solution that we can live by, it is through private sector. One of the things was the expensiveness. That means how expensive it's going to be. All right. For example, if you go to a private hospital, trust me, the first thing that you will do there, you will pay. Obviously, in all our hospitals, okay, you will pay. But I can tell you the amounts that you pay there, they are not as good. They are not as favorable to you as a person than you will think. Okay, especially when it comes up later. they send you an invoice. They say, yeah, you are owing what money. You know? And when you look at the money, you're like, what are you talking about? It's a private hospital. It's going to be very expensive. Now, you can imagine that if the transport industry or transport sphere goes to privatization, what do you think is going to happen? Electricity goes to privatization. What do you think it's going to happen? It's going to be a mess in terms of being expensive. It's going to be expensive, guys. And unfortunately, if these top institutions, they get under privatization, other institutions, which I think also the small ones, they will end up going to the privatization. Why? Because of people think that, you know, the public sector cannot handle things. All right? It's very simple, guys. If the public sector cannot handle things, let the people that are in the public sector be changed. Simple as that. Because there is no way that you can tell me now that in the public sector there is no one who can handle things well. All right? Don't tell me that, because if you are telling me that, and then it means you are being delusional. It's just that you want your private sector to be just whatever. All I'm saying is, it shouldn't be even about private sector versus the public sector. Public sector must be there. They must run the important stuff here to benefit the people, right? And the private sector must be there, obviously, because obviously we will need it in some cases, okay? But not to take over everything, especially the important institutions, guys. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. I'm worried about the expensiveness, okay? It's going to be very expensive. Unless everything in the private sector is free, but it's not possible. There's no way you can put something under private sector and it's free. It doesn't happen. It will never happen. Because it's about what? Profits. Okay? Profits. Okay? I'm not saying we don't need privatization. Okay? But I'm saying it should not be private all over the place, because it's going to be expensive. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what you think about that conversation. All you can do is to go into the EFF channel. Maybe if I may do this for you guys, I don't know if you'll see it or no. I don't think you'll see it. Go to the EFF YouTube channel over there. You will see it, and then there is a podcast there. You can just go and watch the whole interview. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed it. You can like the video, and also you can subscribe if you're new. Thank you so much, guys. We have a fantastic day. I'm out.